Hello everyone! Welcome back to this game! Oh boy. Safe to say that summer has begun. I hope you don't mind me running my air conditioning behind me. I have no intention of becoming a baked ham. Anyway, we have arrived at the Ruins of Kem Dar to look for a Manticore, who is supposedly friends with the dragons. He's hoping this means that the Manticore knows what the dragons have done with the crystals and Princess Elandra. Alright, we got a couple of objectives here besides finding the Manticore. First, we need to find the inn. This is Arlon's General Store. And this is Barton's Livery Stables. So, the Ruins of Kem Dar is actually a town. And that's actually kind of neat. Jackberries, nice. We'll be visiting various establishments here. That's the saloon. As a reminder, I have played this game once before, but I can't really remember where the inn is. But I do remember what it is that we are looking for. There is something kind of handy in the inn. Morton's Carpentry Shop. But that is why we are looking for the inn. We were told to go there specifically first. So, priority 1, that's what I'm going for. Sheriff's Office. Bank of Kem Dar. Let me guess, the last place? Yep, it was the last one I tried. The Prancing Unicorn Inn. And I can see our prize up ahead. Alright, first things first, before I go in there, I bought a piece of new gear in the last episode. The short sword. A double-edged blade with a shark skin wrapped hilt. Unfortunately, this was the only piece of equipment that I could buy. So here's hoping that's all I need. I'm definitely under the impression that I'm not supposed to be able to afford new stuff first. And judging by the pair of older enemies, that's probably a safe bet. I'm not actually expected to be able to gear up yet. Alright, Jareth, strong against water, attack the ooze. We do have one new enemy here at least. Places up next. It's going to take me a bit to actually remember what all the enemy strengths and weaknesses are. But eventually I'll get this memorized and I won't have to look at each character's elements every single turn. At the least, I know that Kristana is Earth Elemental, so neutral toward everything. In which case, let's see what damage she can do with her new sword. 12. Sounds about right. 2 points stronger. At the least, I may not be able to afford new weapons, but I can, the weapons are not actually going to be that much stronger yet. Not until I can afford the really, really good weapons. Of course, this also means that I was unable to afford any new armor. Well, that is unfortunate. That makes up for it. So I'm trying a different strategy here, by the way, where, aside from Kristana, I'm having everyone focus on what they are specifically strong against. In the hopes that maybe they'd be able to take out the enemies themselves? Like, can you take out this big bat in 2 turns? Yes, you can. That just leaves the Arc. But Glacia was not quite able to take that out very quickly. But I think out of all of us, Glacia has the weakest attack. Ignoring that damage, Jareth just isn't very effective against fire enemies. But there we go. Not a difficult fight. As a reminder, we gained a level after the last boss fight, but level ups only buff our HP and MP. So, eventually, getting new equipment is going to be really important. Hey, there's a book on this table. Let's check it out. Wait, it could be a trap. Don't be silly, Fibs. The title of the book says, A Splash of Magic. I think I know what this is. Kristana opens the book. Arcane words written within bestow new knowledge of magic. Kristana has learned the water spell, Splash. Ooh, that's the healing spell. Awesome. We got 2 characters with a healing spell now. The book disappears. Whoa! I know how to cast healing magic. Very cool. Let's keep our eyes open for more books. And Mr. Coward thought it was a trap. Chuckles. I didn't say it was a trap. I said it could be. You never know about these things. You gotta be careful. Uh-huh. If you say so. So someone has written a magical book that disappears the moment you learn a spell. I can just imagine that whoever wrote it had just finished writing the book, only it suddenly taught him the spell and the book disappeared, and now he had to write it all over again. He or she. Or they. But yeah, that is how we're going to be learning new spells throughout this adventure. There's going to be books to find here and there that teach new spells. Which definitely makes exploration worth it. What's especially nice is that this game does not have random encounters, so you are free to explore uninterrupted. At least until you run into a force encounter. Okay, I definitely do not remember where everything is actually going to be in this dungeon, so definitely a good thing we won't have to worry about random encounters. Typically, though, when there are encounters, they'll be right behind a door. Surprisingly not in this case, which means we get another book. There's another book here. This one is Cold Water and Magic. Glacia, you should read this one. Sure. Glacia opens the book. Arcane words written within bestow new knowledge of magic. Glacia has learned the water spell, Ice Dagger. She gets an attack spell. Good, that'll make up for her weaker attack. The book disappears. That was surreal. Oh, I could only imagine. That spell will be handy if we meet more orcs. And I'm sure we will. So, Ice Dagger. A damaging shard of ice. Most effective against fire enemies. Uses up 4 MP. How does that compare to Kristana's Ice Dagger? Wait, that's the same spell! Well then, well, that tells us how good it's going to be. Oh, what about stat-wise? How does Kristana's magic compare to Glace's? 7... 8 with her new piece of equipment. And same as Glace with her current equipment. It's empty. So, I'm probably going to want to consider using those spells. It's a good thing that Kristana has learned a healing spell. Because, wait, did I already come through here? Nope. Anyway, a good thing that Kristana has learned a healing spell, because now we can afford to have one of them use an ice spell. Money? Good to have. How's our inventory coming along, by the way? Our space. Okay, Kalisa has not quite filled hers. And we got a little room beyond. As I said before, there's going to be plenty of items to find. So it won't actually hurt to use up my items. Okay, I'm going to go back upstairs and check out the rooms up here. Actually, I'm going to save first. Alright, Barton's Livery Stables. Bet you there ain't nothing alive in here no more. Jackberries. Typically, it seems that if you happen to find an item in something that ain't a chest, it's going to be berries or leaves or something like that. By the way, on the subject of using items, I was a hoarder during the original playthrough of this game, much to the frustration of the game creator. I wound up tossing away a lot of items because my inventory was constantly full. So I'm definitely going to try to not be as much of a hoarder on this adventure. In fact, wouldn't be a bad idea to use a couple of these items right now. I can use a couple of diet ales to recover from the last fight. I'm surprised there weren't any encounters in any of these rooms. But I suppose there's nothing that significant in here that needed to be guarded. And for the record, I'm not complaining. I have played some RPGs that just placed too many encounters in front of you, and it is grueling. So I welcome a relatively peaceful stroll. Arlen's General Store. Okay, this room is definitely going to have an encounter. No, it didn't. Huh. So I wonder what it was that wound up making this town uninhabitable. Maybe it was the monsters. Maybe this town was not under the protection of the elemental crystals. Looks like the place has been pretty well cleaned out. Oh, what are they called? looters? Something like that? I'm trying to think of the word whenever, a town is, like, evacuated, but there's people coming along to freely rob the homes while nobody is home and there's nobody to stop them. Wing Saloon. Of course it's the saloon where the monsters are hanging out. Oh, we got another new enemy here. I noticed, by the way, that Jareth always gets the first turn. Next time I buy weapons, I'm gonna give him priority since he gets the first attack. Alright, Jareth. You'll be able to take care of the goblin really quick. Oh. So, by the way, RPG Maker 3 has quite the miss rate. It's kind of annoying. Alright, Lisa, you got this newish spell. Go ahead and attack the orc. And if we're lucky, Kristana can get in there and finish it off before it has a chance to attack. No, the orc's actually just that strong. Okay, Fizz, you would actually be really good against that, but I'm fairly confident that we can take out the orc right now. There. Orc didn't get a chance to attack. There we go. That's the damage I was waiting on. I tell you what, it really seems like enemies in general like to attack Jareth. Wind? No, that's not going to do any good. That bee is actually going to spend a bit of time in this fight. Honestly, I should be trying to focus on it. It is a newer enemy, so possibly stronger? I actually haven't been paying attention. This will be neutral damage. And there we go. Now, I think the goblin's gonna get in one more attack. Nope. So maybe we'll finish it off right here. Yep, there we go. I'll definitely have to kind of study these enemies to figure out which ones I should be focusing on first. It occurs to me, by the way, that monsters don't actually drop any money. Never mind that they don't drop experience. Hey, there's some flubba juice here. How old is it? It's not expired, is it? Brofa leaf. Well, I do suppose that we are kind of getting a prize for fighting that fight. It's completely optional, but it allows us to enter a room full of goodies. Lots of goodies. But I am a little concerned about the amount of money we're acquiring. Hopefully we'll be getting plenty more before we're through here. The next dungeon is almost certainly going to have some tougher monsters. and I want to be able to be strong enough to handle them. Alright, this here is the Bank of Kem Dar. Oh, maybe this will get me the money I'm looking for. If so, almost certainly going to have an encounter guarding it. Yep. Oh, but these are all old enemies. So you know what? I don't even have to show this fight. Be right back. Jareth is definitely a bit of a meatbag. And to a slightly lesser extent, Fibs. There must be something in RPG Maker 3's algorithm that's causing the enemies to focus on those two. Okay, there's gotta be something really good here. Yeah, that looks potentially nice. Money? Not as much money as I expected, actually. But it's entirely possible that the town carted off with most of the money. So, not as much money as I was hoping. But I think we're able to forward another weapon if we wanted right now. That was the inn. And there's one more of these buildings for the moment. The sheriff's office. Now, eventually, we need to find a blacksmith. Now, I was told that was the last place we need to check. I assume that that is where the Manticore is going to be hiding. But that also means that we haven't actually found all the places yet. In fact... yeah. I remember this. So somewhere in this ruined town, we're actually going to need to find the jail key. And then we'll come back to the sheriff's office to investigate the jail cells. I can't quite remember what is in them, but I feel like there was something of importance. But we'll worry about that next time. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Oink!